Who would you rather see Adesanya fight, Bobby Knuckles or Johnny Bones?
Oh, I gotta tell you right now, we gotta finish up this storyline. It's already been promised. These two trains have left the tracks. Adesanya versus Whittaker. However, I would add, I really like where this is going. Look, Ariel, Adesanya before long is going to take over the #1 pound-for-pound ranking. That's really going to bother Jon Jones. Jon was in that same spot against Anderson Silva when Anderson held it, but a lot of people were looking at Jon going, hey, wait a minute. There's this new up-and-comer. There looks like there's a new sheriff in town. Let's show Anderson the respect that he's deserved, but I'm not sure that my heart doesn't really tell me I should mark this ballot box for Jon Jones. Finally, Jon did take that spot, but now Adesanya is doing the same thing to him. Jon has one other issue, which is he's not drawing and selling. If he's not in there with somebody named Daniel Cormier, that arena is not completely full. That's just a reality, truly, of Jon's greatness. Roy Jones Jr. had to go through a period of this, too, where people quit tuning in because they felt like they knew how the book and the story and the movie was going to end. That's not an insult to Jon. It's really a compliment. But Ariel, my final analysis, he could use an Israel Adesanya. I think that Adesanya is a little bit undersized right now, but I do think that he's got the skill set and the talent. I think that he's closing some gaps. Maybe he could put on a few pounds. Down the road, I would love to see that contest.
I agree with you. Right now, we have to see the way this story plays out. And I have to say, I spoke to Robert Whittaker on Monday. I've never heard this side of him. He's a very respectful guy. He's somewhat, mild-mannered. He doesn't like to trash talk. But you're starting to see some of that frustration come out. And clearly, Israel has a problem with him. The back and forth between them is unique. It's not in your face. It's not brash. But it is very unique. And there's definitely some heat there. And I truly believe, Chael, that if they go to Australia and find one of those big stadiums there, they could use 70, 80,000 fans. The fans in Australia, despite the fact that Whittaker has had to pull out of his last 2 title fights there, love this guy. Israel's coming up. He's brash. He's fun to be around. He's fun to talk to. He is so much fun to watch. That's magic. But having that fight and then having the Jon Jones stuff sort of hovering above it and hovering above Israel in particular is pretty special too, because in a way, Jon even addressing Israel the way in which he is sort of giving Israel the rub in a weird way. And so I love what Israel is saying. Like, look, I'm going to fight you, but I'm going to do it on my terms. And I love the scenario in which he played out the analogy of him being player one and Jon Jones being the guy at the end of the video game that he has to beat, the boss, if you will. It is great. The back and forth between him and Jon, Israel and Jon on Monday was very entertaining, and I'll say it's entertaining for this singular reason, Chael. Israel Adesanya is a product of the internet. If you hear the way he talks, if you look at his social media, he's very much an internet kid. He's not a kid by age, but he speaks and kind of acts and gets the internet, if you know what I'm talking about. He's bringing up things about Jon Jones that people don't dare bring up. He's bringing up old stories. He's bringing up his transgressions. People don't talk about these things when talking about Jon. Israel is going there, and he's getting under Jon's skin. He's cutting him deep, and I think that's a very interesting development to pay attention to.
Yeah, and Ariel, it's always a time and place issue, right? I mean, if Adesanya had done this even as recently as a couple of weeks ago, you and I would come out, we would enjoy it, but we would still understand it's a governor, and to put it in political terms, okay, president never shoots down. This is a governor taking on the president. It just doesn't make sense. The president's not going to respond. We get what Adesanya is trying to do. Ariel, it's same. Adesanya is now a world champion. Jon Jones is now a world champion. If they got some kind of beef with one another, I'm all ears, and I would love to see it. I do have to go back. I can't help but give you a brief analysis of this fight because it really is spectacular, particularly in the stand-up. But I think that the ground would favor Jon Jones, but Adesanya is getting better. I do worry about his size. He is far more likely and far closer. He's only 13 pounds away by perspective from the welterweight class. He is 22 pounds away from the light heavyweight class. I only offer that because I don't think people understand how light Adesanya is. He looks huge and he's a very tall guy, but he's also very slender and lean. I think I would like to see some time put in between this, possibly end of the year. Next year would be even better early on, and let him grow just a little bit because I do think that's a very competitive and very compelling matchup. I think Adesanya likely has the better skills, but as of today, right now, I do not believe he could beat Jon Jones, and I think my opinion could change with a couple of kilograms.
Yeah, they should not consider this for 2019. I would argue maybe not even for 2020, back end of 2020. But I want to ask you this, Chael, and you're the expert. You're the king when it comes to this stuff. It feels to me like young Israel, is controlling the narrative and the tone. When he's asked about Jon at the post-fight press conference, no, I'm not talking about him. This is about me and Kelvin. He brings up the video of Jon speaking about him first. It seems like he's getting the better of Jon. Do you agree?
Yes, I absolutely do. Adesanya does everything right. He plays his cards right. Look, if you want to be the king of the playground, you cannot bow down to anybody. It is a mistake Jon Jones made early in his career towards Anderson Silva when that fight was brought up. Oh, he's great. Oh, he's a legend. Oh, I'm a fan. Well, then I don't want to see it. Adesanya is doing everything perfectly.